So let's continue the oppositional forces. So Cancer and Capricorn have everything to do with where we come from, which is our family and our roots and our heritage, versus what we are to do and what is our vocation in this life, right? So what is our calling in this life? What is it that we are going to be known for? And they both are related in that axis. So Cancer is all about the nurture and the nourishing from where we grow up, the environment in which we grow up, and the nurture or the lack of nurture, and then propelling you out into the world is Capricorn. So what is it that you define as success and achievement, and that has everything to do with where you come from. Cancer will often look at Capricorn energy as very ruthless, right? Needing so much to be coddled, Cancer. So they look at Capricorn as, dry. And Capricorn isn't water, which nourishes. Capricorn is cold earth. So it becomes a lot cold in the way that they interact, right? So what Capricorn also represents is leadership, but not just leadership, but authoritative leadership, right? And so Cancer would often see Capricorn as, being, very rigid, maybe as well, in how Capricorn handles, life. And so what Cancer would need from Capricorn in order to ignite their seventh house out of adversary is to embrace the fact that they too are an authority and have a say on how things go. So if Cancer respects authority and also embraces their own inner authority, right? They become their own boss to a sense. They find their own voice, right? Then they too can embrace the relatableness to their long-term relationships. So Cancer often repels their long-term relationships if they are over nurturing, right? So nurture is important, but if it becomes so much that it's like suffocating, it becomes like you can't breathe. And so Cancer embracing some of that coldness, embracing some of that ruthlessness themselves, right? Basically, they can unlock their own achievement. And Cancer wants to achieve through their partnerships more than almost anybody else in the zodiac, because the achievement sign is their partnership sign, right? So Cancers need those long-term relationships. That's what's going to make them feel like they are complete in where they come from and what they are doing in this life. These signs have everything to do with business. And Cancer is one of the best at business, right? When they embrace their Capricorn energy. Now, Capricorn, like we said, if it's too cold, if Capricorn is too ruthless, then they are absolutely not relatable, right? They're unapproachable, right? And they are just completely dry in their personality if they do not embrace their Cancer, which is their own ability to nurture and love. And when Capricorn at least applies that nurturing and at least admits that they need nurturing, right? Because cold earth cracks if it does not get nurturing, right? And if cold earth cracks, the foundation cracks for Capricorn, then they cannot build, right? And they cannot climb the mountain if it's cracking. So Capricorn must understand that they need that nurture. They must embrace that nurture. And that's how they become relatable, even just a little bit. would allow Capricorn to propel themselves forward into their own success and achievement. They must understand how much they need their partners to achieve, right? In almost a mothering way, right? And Capricorn also needs to embrace their mother as well. So these axis is about business. It's about where we come from and where we're going. And it also has a lot to do with the mother and the father, right? So the next adversary axis in oppositional force would be Leo and Aquarius. And Leo is the sign of children, right? And creativity. And Leo is the sun, so it shines on everything. Leo is warm, passionate, heart pumping, just fire, pure, fixed fire. And so Leo desires for everything to have life around it. And so Leo is attached as well to what it gives, the life that it gives. Where Aquarius is detached. Aquarius is in the mind. And Aquarius is about how the children serve as they get older, right? So Aquarius is about humanity, because it's about when you become older. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, the older, right? And how children are going to be and where their place is and what their calling is in humanity, right? So Aquarius kind of loses the inner child, right? A little bit. They kind of embrace the friendships, but they don't quite have that inner glow that they need from their Leo energy. And so when Aquarius embraces the Leo glow, right, the inner child energy back, then they become relatable. When Aquarius creates, when they embrace their creativity, they become relatable. Because Aquarius can often get lost in the sauce of friendships. Aquarius can get lost in their own identity, in the groups that they're a part of, because they have so much of a cause. Aquarius can become a rebel without a cause, right? Aquarius can be very disagreeable to that extent. But when they are creative, then they are defining their identity, and their cause becomes clear as well. And then they can be rebellious, but it has meaning and purpose. And so that is where it ignites Aquarius out of their Leo opposition of adversary and into the place of fame, fortune, partnerships. Leo can be so much about their creativity that it's not shared with the world. And that's what Leo needs. Leo needs to take what they have created and then to give it to the world. Give it to humanity. Do not be afraid of criticism, right? And just continue to create and give as the sun gives. And allow others to take it and use their creative or their children, their creativity or their children, for the benefit of humanity, because we need to progress forward with what Leo creates. So Leo does need to have better communication, and Leo needs to have detachment from their creations. And when Leo embraces that, then Leo becomes relatable. And Leo becomes famous. And Leo, very easily too. All Leo needs is just a little detachment from what they create, and just to allow it to go out there, to embrace that everyone criticizes, right? And analyzes and might experiment with their creations. And if Leo can embrace a little bit of that, their creations will expand and grow because it serves humanity and the progression of humanity. So your oppositional force is what makes you better. It's what makes you sharper. And when you deal with the energies that oppose you, deal with them in a way in which, if you are to embrace them, then you can become great.